Welcome to Story Station, episode 16. In this episode, you can listen to 3 European stories. The first story is titled, The King of the Cats. Listen to this funny story about how a tragic event made a cat a king. The second story is titled, News. This is another funny story about someone's misfortune. The third story is titled, The Stars in the Sky. Listen to this story about a little girl's exciting adventure to reach the stars in the sky. Hope you enjoy it! I will read a story called King of the Cats. One winter's evening, the sexton's wife was sitting by the fireside with her big black cat, Old Tom, on the other side, both half asleep and waiting for the master to come home. They waited and waited, but he still didn't come, till at last he came rushing in, calling out, "Who's Tommy Tildrum?" in such a wild way that both his wife and his cat started to stare at him to know what was the matter. "Why, what's the matter?" said his wife, "and why do you want to know who Tommy Tildrum is?" "Oh, I've had such an adventure. I was digging away at old Mr. Fordyce's grave when I suppose I must have dropped asleep, and only woke up by hearing a cat's meow." "Meow," said old Tom in answer. "Yes, just like that. So I looked over the edge of the grave, and what do you think I saw?" "Now how can I tell?" said the sexton's wife. "Why, 9 black cats, all like our friend Tom here, with white spots on their chests. And what do you think they were carrying? Why, a small coffin covered with a black velvet pall, and on the pall was a small coronet of gold. And at every third step they took and they cried together, 'Meow!' 'Meow!' said old Tom again. "Yes, just like that," said the sexton. "And as they came nearer and nearer to me, I could see them more distinctly, because their eyes shone out with a sort of green light. Well, they all came towards me, 8 of them carrying the coffin, and the biggest cat of all walking in the front, for all the world like, 'But look at our Tom, look how he's looking at me.' You'd think he knew what I was saying." Go on," said his wife. "Never mind old Tom." "Well, as I was saying, they came towards me slowly and solemnly, and at every third step, crying all together, 'Meow! Meow!' said old Tom again. "Yes, just like that, till they came and stood right opposite Mr. Fordyce's grave, where I was. When they all stood still and looked straight at me, I did feel queer, that I did. But look at old Tom, he's looking at me just like they did." Go on," said his wife. "Never mind old Tom." Where was I? Oh, they all stood looking at me, when the one that wasn't carrying the coffin came forward, and staring straight at me, said to me, yes, I can tell he said to me with a squeaky voice, "Tell Tom Tildrum that Tim Tildrum is dead." And that's why I asked you if you knew who Tom Tildrum was. For how can I tell Tom Tildrum Tim Tildrum's dead if I don't know who Tom Tildrum is? "Look at old Tom! Look at old Tom!" screamed his wife. And well he might look, for Tom was swelling and Tom was staring, and at last Tom shrieked out, "What? Old Tim dead? Then I'm the king of the cats!" And he rushed up the chimney, and was never more seen. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story. The next story begins in a moment. I will read a story called News. Mr. G said, "Ha, steward, how are you, my old boy? How do things go on at home?" The steward said, "Bad enough, your honour. The magpie's dead." "Poor Mag, so he's gone. How came he to die?" "He overate himself, sir," said the steward. "Did he indeed? So greedy. Why, what did he get that he liked so well?" "Horseflesh. He died of eating horseflesh." "How come he came to eat so much horseflesh?" said Mr. G. "All your father's horses, sir." "What? Are they dead too?" Mr. G. exclaimed. "Aye, sir. They died of overwork." And why were they overworked? To carry water, sir, said the steward. To carry water? And what were they carrying water for? Sure, sir, to put out the fire. Fire? What fire? Said Mr. G. Your father's house is burned down to the ground, the steward replied. My father's house is burnt down? How come it came to be on fire? I think, sir, it must have been the torches, said the steward. Torches? What torches? At your mother's funeral. My mother is dead? Said Mr. G. Aye, poor lady, she never looked up after it. After what? The loss of your father, said the steward. My father's gone too? Yes, poor gentleman. He took to his bed as soon as he heard of it, said the steward. Heard of what? The bad news, ain't it, please your honour? What? More miseries? More bad news? Said Mr. G. Yes, sir. Your bank has failed, your credit is lost, and you are not worth a shilling in the world. I make bold, sir, to come and wait on you about it, for I thought you would like to hear the news that the magpie died. The end. I hope you liked this story. The next story begins in a moment. I'll read a story called The Stars in the Sky. Once upon a time, and twice on a time, and all times together, as ever I heard tell of, there was a tiny lassie who would weep all day to have the stars in the sky to play with. She wouldn't have this, and she wouldn't have that, but it was always the stars she would have. So one fine day off she went to find them, and she walked and she walked and she walked, till by and by she came to a mill dam. Good day to ye, she says. I'm seeking the stars in the sky to play with. Have you seen any? Oh yes, my bonny lassie, said the mill dam. They shine in my own face o' nights till I can sleep for them. Jump in and perhaps you'll find one. So she jumped in, and swam about and swam about and swam about, but never a one she could see. So she went on till she came to a brooklet. Good day to ye, brooklet, brooklet, says she. I'm seeking the stars in the sky to play with. Have you seen any? Yes, indeed, my bonny lassie, said the brooklet. They glint on my banks at night. Paddle about, and maybe you'll find one. So she paddled and paddled and paddled, but never one did she find. So on she went until she came to the good folk. Good day to ye, good folk, she says. I'm looking for the stars in the sky to play with. Have ye seen ever a one? Why, yes, my bonny lassie, said the good folk. They shine on the grass right here a night. Dance with us, and maybe you'll find one. And she danced and danced and danced, but never a one did she see. So down she sat. So I suppose she wept. Oh dearie me, says she. I've swam and I've paddled and I've danced, and if you'll not help me, I shall never find the stars in the sky to play with. But the good folk whispered together, and one of them came up to her and took her by the hand and said, If you won't go home to your mother, go forward, go forward. Mind you, take the right road. Ask 4 feet to carry you to no feet at all, and tell no feet to carry you to the stairs without steps, and if you can climb that— Oh, shall I be among the stars in the sky then? Cried the lassie. If you'll not be, then you'll be elsewhere, said the good folk, and set to dancing again. So on she went again with a light heart, and by she came to a saddled horse tied to a tree. Good day to ye, beast, said she. I'm seeking the stars in the sky to play with. Will you give me a lift, for all my bones are aching? Nay, said the horse, I know naught of the stars in the sky, and I am here to do the bidding of the good folk, and not my own will. Well, said she, it's from the good folk I come, and they bade me tell 4 feet to carry me to no feet at all. That's another story, said he. Jump up and ride with me. So they rode and they rode and they rode, till they got out of the forest and found themselves at the edge of the sea. And on the water in front of them was a wide, glistening path running straight out towards a beautiful thing that rose out of the water and went up into the sky, and was all the colors of the world, blue and red and green and wonderful to look at. "Now get you down," said the horse. "I've brought ye to the end of the land, and that's as much as 4 feet can do. I must away home to my own folk." "But," said the lassie, "where's no feet at all? And where's the stairs without no steps?" "I know not," said the horse. "It's none of my business either. So good day to ye, my bonny lassie." And off he went. So the lassie stood still and looked at the water, till a strange kind of fish came swimming up to her feet. "Good day to ye, big fish," says she. "I'm looking for the stars in the sky, and for the stairs that climb up to them. Will ye show me the way?" "Nay," said the fish, "I can't unless you bring me word from the good folk." "Yes, indeed," said she. "They said 4 feet would bring me to no feet at all, and no feet at all would carry me to the stairs without steps." "Ah, well," said the fish, "that's all right then. Get on my back and hold fast." Off he went, kerplash, into the water, along the silver path, towards the bright ark. And the nearer they came to the brighter the sheen of it, till she had to shade her eyes from the light of it. And as they came to the foot of it, she saw it was a broad, bright road, sloping up and away into the sky. And at the far, far end of it she could see wee shining things dancing about. "Now," said the fish, "here you are, and yon's the stair. Climb up if you can, but hold on fast. I'll warrant you find the stair easier at home than by such a way. It was never meant for lassie's feet to travel." And off he splashed through the water. So she climbed and climbed and climbed, but never a step higher did she get. The light was before her and around her, and the water behind her, and the more she struggled, the more she was forced down into the dark and the cold. And the more she climbed, the deeper she fell. But she climbed and she climbed, till she got dizzy in the light and shivered with the cold, and dazed with the fear. But she still climbed, till at last, quite dazed and silly-like, she let clean go, and sank down, down, down. And bang she came onto the hard boards, and found herself sitting, weeping and wailing, by the bedside at home, all alone. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story. Thank you for listening to Story Station. We are adding stories as frequently as possible, so check back often. We would love to hear your feedback and any questions you may have. Thank you.